All right, welcome to the People's Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Doug By, here again with Mike Rossi, Joey G Money Janoffi, and Andrew Garganese. How you guys doing?
What's up,
Doing all right?
dog? Doing good, doing good.
Good, good. All right, we got a big show. We didn't get our waiver show in time. We'll talk a little bit about waivers, but no real advice because it's not going to matter so much because this show isn't going to come out till Wednesday morning. But we're going to do our champs and chumps of the week. We're going to do panic meter. We're going to do Joe's beef of the week, which is everyone's favorite. Buy low, sell high. And so let's start it out with what did you think about this weekend? Who are your champs of the week? Who are your chumps of the week?
Well, first of all, what I think about this weekend was a completely different question. This weekend sucked.
Yeah.
This is an ugly week of football. Dude, do you know there was 30 teams that played? Only 7 of them scored over 20 points. It's kind of gross.
And the Dolphins.
But that being said,
49ers did not.
No. Either did the Eagles. So my champs, there's a few of them, right? There's a couple of old men that are champs of the week for me. One of them, Adam, as Joe likes to call him, Adam Thielen is a champ. He keeps it going. Wide receiver 5 on the year. That guy, it's Adam Thielen, obviously. But 11 for 115 in a score. And the other one, it's Raheem Mostert. And he's incredible. He has 11 touchdowns. That's more touchdown that he has than 11 other teams in the league. He has more touchdowns than 11 NFL football teams through 6 weeks. And then there's one more old guy. That's the champ of the week for me. If you look behind me, you'll see some highlights of Julio Jones, the now Philadelphia Eagle. He's going to come and we signed him to get him a ring. So enjoy Julio highlights all episode, guys.
I don't know if he can still run like that. He looked pretty good in that last clip.
Absolutely not.
All right, Joe, who's your champs and chumps of the week? Or what do you think about the weekend?
I mean, the 4:00 slate of games was the worst 4:00 slate of games in a long fucking time. I can tell you that. It was just absolutely boring to watch. But Rossi either doesn't read text messages or just felt the same way as me because those are both my champs of the week. Mostert obviously put up 33 points, can't stop that. And Adam Thielen, yeah, back-to-back games, 11 catches and a touchdown. I mean, I was big on selling him high a few weeks ago, and I was dead wrong with that one. Did not expect this. Didn't think Bryce Young could keep it up with him, and didn't think he had the speed to keep it up. But apparently he does.
No, he hasn't had over 1,000 yards in a season in like 4 years. How old is he? Like 32, 33 years old?
Yeah, he's around then.
He's around Julio's age.
Joe, I didn't know who my champs of the week were going to be. I knew I went before you, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to steal Joe's and go on with my day. It's his problem now.
Let him come up with something on the fly.
Hey.
Good luck, Joe. Andy, what did you think of the weekend?
I mean, the first thing for me obviously would be the Jekyll and Hyde Buffalo Bills are gonna give me fucking early onset heart disease. Like to see Tyrod Taylor do good though. Got a soft spot for that man. But fantasy related, my champ of the week is Drake London. I mean, he got drafted high. He's got crazy talent. It's hard to play wide receiver in the NFL with a bad quarterback and on a run first offense, but back-to-back weeks, he's looked like a legit wide receiver 1 in the league. 9 catches on 12 targets for 125 yards are big boy stats. You know, if you're producing without a touchdown in the NFL, you're doing something right. So he's trending upwards. Ritter does look a little bit better, which is just couldn't look any worse. But but he does look slightly better. So Drake London's my champ of the week.
Yeah, he's a little on the rise. Dolphins too, man. It's just the Dolphins as a team. They're the only team that scores right now in the NFL. Like, imagine if defenses could do what they could do 20 years ago. Like these scores would be like 3-0 this past week.
Oh God, yeah.
All right, let's jump into our panic meter. You guys ready for that?
Sure,
do it.
All right, let's start out. I'm known as a little bit of a Chief hater and a Patrick Mahomes hater. Let's start out with Mr. Mahomes there. Where you guys at on him? He the last 3 games he's been against subpar defenses and hasn't scored over 20 points in half PPR. So where you guys at on him right now?
I can't.
All right.
Yeah,
Mike's a 1. I'm a 7.
Him.
Joe's a 3.
Evan.
That's a 3.
Andy's a 3. Good. All right. Mike, talk about your 1. I'll talk about my 7 a little bit.
I mean, he's Patrick Mahomes, right? I don't know. That's really all you have to say is he's Patrick Mahomes. But even past that, his next 3 matchups: Chargers, Broncos, Dolphins, and then he has his bye week. So I don't know, he's got 3 easy matchups again, matchups where they're going to have to score, especially with the Chargers and Dolphins. So I don't know. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to do Patrick Mahomes things.
Yeah, he is Patrick Mahomes. You're correct about that. That's the guy we're talking about. Yeah, it's just I think what's concerning to me is when Kelsey isn't on the field or is a little banged up, Mahomes looks lost out there. He just doesn't look like himself. He doesn't trust anyone, I don't think, other than Kelsey. So what if Kelsey goes down? What if that happens? What if he goes down for multiple games? I don't know if I would. He's running the ball a lot. No worries. He is running the ball more. So he's getting fantasy points like that, but he's not throwing the touchdowns he did before. I think Rashee Rice could be a guy that comes on a little bit, but so my 7 isn't so much that I'm super concerned with Mahomes because he is Patrick Mahomes, as you said. It is more you drafted him to be the number 1 quarterback this year, and he's not that. And he's not going to be that this year. So it's more that. I think he's going to be maybe the 5th. He might crack the top 5, but he's not going to be the number 1. Andy, what'd you have to say?
I don't know. The if Kelsey goes down thing, but I mean, who is any of the top tier quarterbacks without their number 1 wide receiver or number 1 option, really, right? Like Steph Diggs goes down, Josh Allen's not going to be a top 5 guy. I mean, Jalen Hurts loses 1, he's still got the other. But if Jamar Chase goes down, or you know what I mean, they're all pretty dependent on these elite options.
Yeah,
you saw what happened to Kirk Cousins without Justin Jefferson playing the fucking Bears. So.
Right. But again, that's Kirk Cousins. He's not Patrick Mahomes.
I think he was a top 5, right? He was in the top 5 to start the season.
Because Jefferson
now, so
yeah.
And now he's Kirk Cousins.
It's more to me just Kelsey's 34 years old, same age as Julio. And
everybody's the same age.
Yeah. And he's already been bagged up this year, and it's just, when is it going to happen? When is he going to slow down? Maybe it's not this year, but anyways, that's where I was at on that. Joe, do you have something to say?
Just get these receivers on the jugs machine for hours. That's it. They just can't catch the ball. I mean, they got the speed, they have athleticism. Once they figure out how to catch the ball, Mahomes is going to be back to normal and he's going to be ripping it up. I think it will click eventually with some of these guys. I think they have too much speed and can get that separation. They got to learn to catch.
Yeah, they definitely
they got to get somebody. They got to get somebody in there because
it's funny because when you said Julio, I didn't know anything about it. I immediately was thinking maybe the Chiefs are giving him a flyer.
I thought I was going to get a lot more when I sent that Julio text to you guys, and I got nothing.
Right.
I haven't been able to look at my phone all day, which, Joe, you can see that by completely just stealing your champs of the week. I had no idea that was your champ. So,
no, I was talking to Rossi actually when you did that, and he's like, Julio, must be one of our guys on one of our teams because he said it to us.
Shit.
All right, let's go to the next guy. Speaking of Rossi's team, let's talk about Devonta Smith. Where you guys at on him right now? He's right now he's playing second fiddle on an underperforming offense, and when he gets opportunities, he's dropping it. So I'm a 7, Mike's a 4, Joe's a 5, and Andy is a 3 again.
I've forgotten how to. I don't know how to. That's 3 attempts. That's 3 attempts at writing a 3, and none of them look like a fucking 3.
Guys, we've had 2 panic meter things, and Andy's already written 3 threes.
Yeah.
I can't remember how to write, guys. The Bills.
All right. Who was the low guy in that one?
Andy was 3.
Andy, go ahead and talk about why you're not concerned with Devonta.
No, I have little to no concerns. Talent's there, offense is there, quarterback's there. It just hasn't clicked. This is Jalen Waddle to me. the same thing. They're both on very good offenses. They're both very good players. It's gonna all work out. It's a slow start, you know. It's just you have bad games and sometimes you have bad stretches, and it just so happens that he's having a tough stretch early on in the year.
I think there's just a lot of mouths to feed there, and nobody's going to be overly consistent other than AJ Brown.
Nah, I mean, it's the same offense as last year, right? Like nothing's really changed.
No, it is.
So I
It
mean,
is.
there's no reason. It's not like fucking Julio Jones is going to come in and just start demanding targets. Like, it's the same thing. It's not working out for him right now.
Maybe
There might be a little bit of reason though, because DeAndre Swift is getting a lot more targets than Miles Sanders got. So that's one more mouth that they have to feed. But he's kind of taking away targets from not even from Goddard because he's been picking it up, but Quez Watkins was getting some targets last year. And I think he has like 3 or 4 this year so far. He has like nothing. So I think he's playing that role of, instead of having a third receiver, they have DeAndre Swift getting it. So it's still there. They just have to pick it up as an offense in general.
They do for sure. I think my thing is just there is only one ball, and there's 4 guys that they throw the ball to quite often with DeAndre Swift now, like you said. So it's just some guys are going to have their week, and then also Jalen Hurts, whenever they get near the goal line, he's running the ball or sneaking it in. What do they call it? The tush push?
Brotherly shove.
It's so stupid. The tush push.
The brotherly shove.
Yeah. So, all right. Next guy, Puka Nacua. Where you guys at on him right now? Now the Cup's back. This past week, he had a season low of 4 catches on only 26 yards. So, was that just an off week, or is Cup really going to be the factor there? I got a 3. Mike's got a 2. Andy's got another 3, and he wrote it again. And
there we go.
Joe's got a 4. Andy's just practicing his 3s. It's good.
Yes.
Yep. Him and my 6-year-old. They're just practicing the 3s. All right. Andy, go ahead and talk about your 3.
Yeah, go ahead. Why won't you trade him to me?
Puka? You mean where he's
explain yourself?
He's a round 10 keeper in our league. You jerk off. Hey, we went over this for like an hour. I'm not even going to respond to you. Puka, he's once again, it's a bad week. Those things happen. He's proved with Cooper Kupp, without Cooper Kupp, that he's gonna get his catches. He's gonna get his targets. I mean, sometimes you just have bad weeks. I don't know why it happened this week. I had Stafford and a lot of DKs, and that whole offense was kind of a letdown for me outside of Cooper. But once again, he's proved it already. People have bad weeks. It happens. I don't know why. I would never panic after 1 week, especially with a dude that you have probably so little invested in, whether you drafted him late in a deep draft or you spent whatever on a waiver wire early on, hopefully.
Yeah, you can't. I agree with everything there. And last week, he actually had a pretty good game with Cooper Kupp there, right? And Stafford's already shown this year that he can have 2 receivers that have good games at the same time with Tutu Atwell and Puka. All right, let's go to the next guy, Devontae Adams. He's been battling through a shoulder injury right now. Hasn't been great for fantasy. Jimmy G's hurt. So are you panicking with Hoyer throwing him the ball? I'm a 4. Mike's a 6. Joe's an 8.
It's gonna be a big 3. This is a
Nope.
big old 3.
Oh, it's a 4. It's a 4.
I was keeping it. It was a 3, but then I didn't want to talk again. So
I had a feeling that Joe was gonna panic on this one. He has Devontae in my league. I don't know how many leagues he has him in. So
just yours.
Joe, talk about your 8.
4 points this week. He's underperformed his projection 4 out of the 6 weeks. The quarterbacks haven't looked good there. Garoppolo hasn't looked good. The running game didn't get established to take pressure off of him. And I'm pretty sure, if I look it up right now, Jacoby Myers probably has more targets than him and seems to be Garoppolo's go-to guy. I think he definitely has more touchdowns than him. It's just he's not doing what I thought he was going to do. I took Devontae in the 2nd round in yours on the comeback. Thought he was going to be a solid 2nd round pick. He normally gets all those red zone targets. I still think he's got the talent. I still think he's Devontae Adams. I don't see Jimmy buying into just throwing him the ball, and I don't know what Hoyer's going to do if Jimmy's out for a few weeks. So I don't trust it. So as a Devontae owner, I am very panicked right now.
Joe, while you were just talking, I sent you a trade offer.
It's great. I'm sure I'll reject it. No
Check it out.
counter either.
Wow.
Let's
No
make a
counter.
trade. Let's make a trade happen during the show between the two of you guys.
I'm sure
We don't
it's
have-
terrible. if
There's
it's
not
coming
enough
from Mike.
time left in the day.
For us to make a trade.
All right. Yeah, I think it's mainly his shoulder injury going on with him. He was getting in Brian Hoyer's ear quite a bit at the end of that game, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
So
I didn't see that. Was he?
yeah, he was on the bench. They were, but we'll see. I think Hoyer could be suitable for him, just for him, but probably not him and Jacoby, or not Jacoby and him. I don't think he can
Very
do
true.
two guys.
Such a bad trade offer.
So-
Such a bad trade offer.
You're panicking. You just
Explain
told me
it.
you're panicking.
Explain it. What is it?
Christian Watson and Jalen Warren.
It's not a bad
That's what he
offer for
offered
someone
me.
that's panicking.
That's not a good offer.
Yeah, he's trying to take advantage of your Steeler fan.
I agree. That's fine.
It's fine. It's not a terrible offer.
It's not terrible.
It's a
but
try.
It's not good.
All right. Let's go to the next guy, DJ Moore. He came back down to earth this week. He's now got Andy's boy. Is it Baggart? Baggart? Dude,
Badgett?
Badgett?
Badgett? Is that it?
Badgerton. Can't panic
he's
at all
now
now.
under
He's finally got a
center.
quarterback.
Samsonite. I was way off.
And it looks like Fields is going to miss at least a week. I'm a 3. Mike's a 7. Get my 3 in there. Joe's a 5, and Andy's a 5. All right, Mike, you're panicking a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Justin Fields might miss more time than we think. Like he dislocated his thumb in his throwing hand, and they said his timeline is until he can fully grip a ball without pain. So when you're the Bears that are, what are they, 1-5? I think they're going to take their sweet time getting him back. So I don't know if I'm a team that needs wins now, or you're relying on DJ. I'm just not happy with it, and yeah, I'm a little panicked.
Yeah, I mean, before Fields came out last night or Sunday, excuse me, Moore only had 1 catch. He had 4 catches after Fields came out, so the kid was throwing his way. The bad interception he threw at the end of the game was towards DJ Moore. That's why I'm a 5. I don't believe in the kid as a quarterback, but I think he's going to tunnel vision to DJ Moore. So I'm not. That's why I'm right in the middle of it. Because yeah, I think DJ Moore, we were saying, was going to be a boomer bust guy week to week, and I don't think that changes.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, Joe. Couldn't have said it better.
Mike?
No, just Joe's. All right, let's go to the next guy. Joe Mixon. Last week he had 12 attempts for 38 yards. He really hasn't done too much this year. Are better days to come? Are you panicking with the bye week right now? What's going on with him? I'm a 4. Mike's a 2. Joe's a 6.
Fuck.
Andy's a 6. All right, Andy, you're 6. So you're panicking a little bit.
Who are we talking about?
Joe Mixon.
No, I'm just. I can't.
He is pretty
fucking-
forgetful.
Yeah.
He's so forgetful right now.
I can't get this fucking Sharpie to work. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, Mixon. I'm worried because of, I guess, panicking because of the capital you probably invested in him. But overall, I'm not worried for the rest of his season. I think you probably drafted Joe Mixon to be an RB2, and if you did that, you're fine. But if you've got Mixon as your RB1, you're probably struggling. I thought he was going to be a high-end RB2 this year, and it now that hasn't really set in yet. But the running back market, as we've talked about time and time again, is shoddy. It's spotty. It's people are good 1 week, bad next week. People are hurt. So I'm not panicking too much. You have a very serviceable every down back that's going to eventually have some good games, even if this is, is his new floor. That sucks, but you got yourself a legitimate RB2. So the panic's there, but I wouldn't be trying to sell him or anything.
Yeah, agreed. And the workload's not going anywhere. There's nobody really behind him that's going to take it.
How are you both under a 5 though? You and Doug and Mike, you were both under a 5. He's only hit his projection once by less than a point.
Yeah, I mean, I just if you drafted Joe Mixon, like we said it I think mainly me and Andy, that it was a volume play. Like, you only drafting Joe Mixon because of his workload, and he hasn't lost that. And I think this has been a whole Bengals problem so far, not a Joe Mixon problem. So as this offense picks up steam and Joe Burrow starts to feel better and better, I think that goes hand in hand with Mixon getting better and better.
Yeah. Samesies.
That's just agreeing with everybody.
Just picking and choosing who to agree with. All right. That's it, guys. That was all of our panics of the week. No other guys to
thank
panic
God.
about. All right. You don't have to
There's a
write
lot
down
of guys.
anymore.
I gotta go
There's
to
a lot
first
of guys
grade.
to panic about.
There's a lot of guys to panic about. Injury wise, there's a ton of guys to panic about. All right, let's go to everybody's favorite segment, Joe's Beef of the Week.
Oh, wow, I forgot about this.
Joseph, take it away.
So it's going to be fantasy and sports betting related all in one again. And it's got to do with offenses, mainly red zone offense in the NFL this year. Red zone offense has gone down the past 3 weeks. And these teams look fucking awful in the red zone. People are not capitalizing. It started off with the Chiefs on Thursday night, who, how you can't score, what would they end up with, 19 points against Denver? Are you fucking kidding me? Miami just put up a 70 spot up against them, 2-3 weeks ago, and now you're putting up 19 points against Denver, and they were home? What are we doing? Mahomes threw a pick early on. Again, why he's throwing this guy more near the end zone? No fucking idea. That was stupid. And then they turned it over on downs on their next drive. So that killed any sports bettors taking the overs in that game, taking the Chiefs over in that game. And obviously it killed people for fantasy. You had the Giants at the end of the first half. Tyrod Taylor, I know you haven't played a game in a while, but why are we checking to a run with no timeouts? Like, you throw the ball 2, maybe 3 times, and then you kick a field goal if you have to on after the 2 tries if you can't get in there. But you're not running the ball. You cannot fucking run the ball, or that's what's going to happen 10 times out of 10 times. Even the refs getting involved. I don't know if the first pass interference should have been called at the end of that game, but the second one definitely should have been called. So they may not have had an opportunity of it. But it's not just them. The Ravens fucking suck in the red zone. So anybody with Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, you got Gus Edwards or Justice Hill, those guys aren't scoring, and they're in the red zone a ton. Justin Tucker's got a ton of points right now. We don't want fantasy kickers. Nobody wants to talk about fantasy fucking kickers. There were more field goals, Rossi. How many times did I mention all the fucking field goals on Sunday? I tried.
They wouldn't allow to make that bet,
I tried to do a fucking field goal kicker parlay and take like 6 guys over 2 field goals, which I think there were 8 or 9 guys who had over 2 field goals Sunday, and fucking Rhode Island Sportsbook rejected my bet in the morning, which is a bunch of bullshit. I don't understand how you reject a bet somebody puts out there, but red zone offenses stink in the league right now. To be in the top 10, you only have to be at 58%. There are 2 teams tied at 9th in the league at 58% in red zone offense. That's fucking awful. So to all the offensive coordinators out there, obviously I want to change in Pittsburgh with the back sign behind me, but fucking smarten up. Be better. This is supposed to be an offensive league. We want entertainment. We want something to be excited about on Sunday, and that was fucking boring Sunday this week.
Hey Joe, one question: who's like the number 1 red zone offense in the league right now?
I knew. I have it up. I think it was the Bills when I looked at it. Oh no, excuse me. It's Miami. Buffalo's 2.
That makes sense.
What's their percentages?
Miami's 80%, Buffalo's 75%.
So just to add on to your beef a week a little bit.
Would you like to know who's 3 though? It will shock everybody.
Yeah.
Is it the Patriots because they've only been there twice and they got one of them?
Because they're never there.
Oh wow.
They're one for 4.
They're what's their
They're in
Doug, they're
first.
70%, Doug. They're in the top 5 and something in the league.
There we go. We got some hope now.
Joe, just to add on to that real quick, somebody needs to tell Malik Willis he's allowed to fucking throw the ball in the end zone.
Yes.
How
I
about
thought you were going to
Geno
bring that up.
Smith? Geno Smith, fucking, they got down there twice, and on 4th down, he didn't get rid of the ball. He took a sack, and then he got hit as he was throwing one of the times. Like, get rid of the fucking ball. Oh,
Now, do you think it's bad coaching? Do you think it's players that aren't being smart?
I mean, it all stems from the coaching. I think it's play calling, and then if your players aren't prepared in handling those situations, that's poor coaching and practice prepping them.
Yeah. I mean, Malik Willis, man, he had 3 sacks in a row. I think that happened, wasn't it? There's at least 2.
Yeah,
he
just
doesn't.
didn't
He
throw
doesn't
the ball.
belong starting.
The
He
one
doesn't
thing
belong
you couldn't
playing
do
quarterback.
there was
Yeah.
to get sacked. Just
No.
throw the fucking ball away. I don't know. It was ugly. All right, Joe. Thank you for that. That was good.
Anytime.
Let's jump into our buy low, sell highs. Mike, you start us out with your buy low.
All right, I kind of cheated this week, guys, because I don't have a player. My buy low is any player of value on one of the 6 teams that is on a buy. The Panthers, the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Texans, the Jets, and the Titans. They're all on buys this week. So what I want you to do is go to the bottom teams in your league, whoever's in 12th, 11th, 10th place, find the good players that are on a buy because they can't afford a loss, and just slightly lowball them an offer, and it'll get accepted because they don't want to play guys. They don't want to lose points to people on their buy. So just go lowball offer any player on a buy, Thielen, Garrett Wilson, Derrick Henry, anybody, and it'll probably get accepted.
Okay, Mike.
I don't hate it. Yeah,
Garrett
so
Wilson.
you're.
I've been trying for Garrett Wilson.
Andy's gonna do a trade now. I want a trade to happen tonight. No, I like it. You're thinking outside the box there. Joe, who's your buy low?
Buy low mainly because he's been sitting on the sideline, but Aaron Jones. We haven't seen a lot of him. We saw him week 1 and he tweaked it up. He had 1 game that he played in. He only got 1.9 points. And then he sat for the Raiders game again, and then they were on the bye last week. So he should be well rested. They're playing Denver this week. So it's obviously a sweet matchup. And we've seen that A.J. Dillon, he had a decent game against Las Vegas. But other than that, I mean, he can't catch the ball like Aaron Jones can. He doesn't have that explosiveness that Aaron Jones has. So I'd still be willing to give up a decent amount for Aaron Jones, but I think you can get him at a low point right now. Mike does not like the trade offer he just got. It doesn't look like.
I said slightly low ball. Mike Thomas for Garrett Wilson. Come on, man.
A straight up wide receiver for wide
Just
receiver.
a start. It's just a start.
It's a
Dude,
starting
you just
point,
need
Mike.
him. You know how long
starting.
it looked. I was scrolling down to find your team that whole entire time Joe was talking. That's how far you're fucking down in the standings.
Hey,
You
listen,
need some points.
J.K. Dobbins, Anthony Richardson, Garrett Wilson. Obviously, he's been hurt because of Aaron Rodgers. My whole team is just a shit show.
Joe, you have Aaron Jones in my league, right? He's one of the few running backs that, well, he's been down, but yeah, all
No,
your
my
running
whole
backs went
team's been down in that.
Yeah, what am I saying?
It's just because I drafted 6 of them.
So what? I mean, what would you take for him though? Like, would you take?
See, I wouldn't take anything for him. He's a guy I would target him to buy hard low right now.
Yeah, you still
I
believe in
think
him.
he's gonna. And Jordan Love looks awful. So I think this offense has to get back to running the ball, and I think Aaron Jones is the guy.
All right, Andy, who's your buy low?
Even though we just kind of crushed Gino a little bit there, my buy low is Tyler Lockett. I thought for the most part Gino looked like he rounded the corner. I thought the offense looked a little bit better than they had, or at least from what I've seen. And yeah, he's already played his bye week, so you don't have to worry about that going forward. And his playoff schedule is fucking beautiful. So, if you go in and get him now, I've talked about Tyler Lockett like 5 times, so I'm not going to keep going with who he is. But, you go get yourself a solid, wide receiver, low end wide receiver too. You could probably get him. Well, let's see. I got, if you have a Jerry Jeudy or a Jacoby Myers, I would trade them for Tyler Lockett going forward. And if you're running back heavy and you're looking for a wide receiver, if you have a Najee Harris or a Gus Edwards, I think you could get that done. I think any of those guys just straight up right now gives you have a chance at landing that a one-on-one. So I would go get Tyler Lockett.
I'd agree with all those except for Judy. I think everyone's down on Judy.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that guy. We're not
You
going to bring up
try.
his name, but some people are buried in that draft. I drafted him high. He's got value. Jerry Judy's good.
True. Name value. All right. My buy low, it's similar to Mike's actually. I copped out a little bit too. And mine's just buy low on injured players. Like if you are like 5-1, 6-0, even 4-2, go get an injured player on a team that's 1-5, 0-6, 2-4. They're desperate for players right now. So go try to get a Jefferson, an Achan, Khalil Herbert, even like an Aaron Jones, right? Go try to get one of those guys. Now's the time to do it. What did you guys do another trade?
The hell, you offered me something.
All right, let's hear it.
Kareem Hunt and Michael Thomas for Garrett Wilson.
Ooh,
There you go.
we're getting a package.
The starter on the Browns.
No, unless that's a Puka package. You ain't getting it done.
I didn't know Puka package. All right, Mike, who's your sell high of the week?
I cop it. I semi copped out, dude. There was like 5 people that even had a good week this week,
Yeah.
so it was tough to come up with the sell high. So
You could have gone with your same boy for the third time, actually. You could have gone with your boy for the third time. On
Derrick
sell
Henry?
high. No, Mostert.
Oh, I'm not selling him with Achan gone. No, I'm keeping most of them. I'm riding him now.
Okay, so we shouldn't have listened to you before. Now, okay.
Riding him, huh?
Well, yeah, I didn't have
No, I
I didn't
know.
have the
You
insight of
can't
Achan
predict
going
it.
down,
Yeah,
but
you can't predict.
Go
ahead.
My sell high, if you even can, but it's not even a high. It's a sell when he's not at his floor. Is Dak Prescott? He just had a decent game. He looked pretty good. He's got a bye coming up right now, so you can't use him anyway. But go find every league has that one Cowboys fan, right? And you know you know who he is because he probably texted you last night. And he's like, "Oh, this is the year, America's team. Them boys are going to the Super Bowl." All asshole things. That's what Cowboys fans do. Just trade him to him. Go get, like Andy said, Geno Smith. That's fine. Go get Geno for him. He already passes by. So that's one free week of football that you get, and you get Dak off your team. So it's a win-win.
I don't know many Cowboys fans anymore. I feel like after the 90s, they just all disappeared.
Disintegrated.
Yeah.
It depends what age bracket your league is in. Like if there's age brackets that are our age, like 35 to 40-ish, they're still Cowboys fans because they know that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a Cowboys fan in either one of our leagues.
I don't think there is. Yeah. I can't think of any.
Yeah, shut up, Mike.
Shut up, Doug.
All right, Joe, who's your sell high?
So wouldn't trade this guy, but if you were going to trade him, this is the time that you can get the most value for him, and that's Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne's coming off 2 good weeks. He had 35 points 2 weeks ago, and then this past week he had 22. Both games he had 2 touchdowns. So I just think if I'm picking somebody to sell high this week, as Mike said, it was kind of tough to find like that middle of the road guy that you could try to get maximum value for. I think this is a high point for Etienne. I think this offense still doesn't look 100% like it was looking last year. And, coming off those 2 big games, like I said, I think this is where you could get the max value if you have Etienne on your team and you have, a couple needs and you need something to make a push. I think this is where you could get a good 2-for-1, him being the one possibly.
Yeah, especially if you're on a losing record team.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, who's your sell high?
My sell high is Rashid Shaheed. It feels like every game this dude has like a punt return touchdown or 2 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown. And I don't think you're going to get a lot for him, but I think that streak's going to come to an end sooner rather than later. And I would just ship him off for what I can right now. In a perfect world, if you want another wide receiver, you can maybe go get Josh Downs, who's trending upwards, or Marvin Mims, who we've talked about. And then if you need a running back, maybe go buy Khalil Herbert while he's hurt. maybe try to go get him, or Kareem Hunt is, I mean, he's a, he's running back 3. But if you need a running back, especially somebody when you got bye weeks coming up, those could be plug and play guys for you. So maybe go try that.
All right, I like that. If you can make that happen. My sell high, it was a tough week to find one, and the one guy I found that had a really big week was Drake London. We talked about him a little bit earlier. He was your champ of the week, right, Andy?
Oh yeah.
I'm not even sure I would sell him, to be honest. The more I started looking into it, because the last few games he has been starting to be on the upward trend. The only reason I would really is because Ritter's his quarterback. I still don't buy into him.
No.
This is the only game he's had over 100 yards this season in the 6 games. And Pitts is starting to come on a little bit, right? So he's starting to get some targets.
Not get carried away.
A little bit. And Bijan, Bijan is part of that passing attack. So I don't know. We'll see. But if you're running back needy and you can go try to get a guy like an Aaron Jones or something like that for him, maybe package it with something else, or, even like a Brian Robinson, is someone who can get you some carries and plug in on these bye weeks as a running back too. All right. That's our buy low, sell high. Was there another trade offer?
There's been 7 of them. Several of them. The
Michael's
most recent
very
was Jason Sanders for Garrett Wilson. It's the most recent.
That's fair.
Come on, I offered him in this, right? I thought it was pretty fair. Let's talk this out real quick, Andy. I want Puka. All right, I'm 0-6 in this league. My team is fucking terrible. It's a keeper league where you keep them at their draft where you drafted them. Puka is a round 10 keeper. So I'm looking for the future. I'm looking for next year. So Puka and Mike Thomas is who I said I wanted. And I was giving him Garrett Wilson and Joe Mixon. It's a pretty good offer.
Ooh, that is a good offer.
And he
Sure,
rejected it.
For right now. And then next year when I go to get my keepers, I want to go, I'm not keeping either one of these fucking guys. Because Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, but you're 4-2. Think about the now.
I was just going to ask that. What are the records?
Yeah, it's a tough.
Right. The record is 4-2.
Fine line, though.
Let me, Doug, to go back and answer your question. Here are the top 3 teams in the league. Third place we'll do for the top 4. Fourth place has 763 points. That is 5th most. Third place has 804 points. That is 3rd most. So 804 to 763. Pretty wide gap. Second place, which is me, has 905 points. I have 100 more points than second place. My team's perfectly fine where it is. And then first place we're not going to talk about because this team is outrageous. But he's got 9.
So you're going to play for this year.
Dude, my team's fine. I'm not giving up. I get more points from Puka per week than I'm going to get from either one of those guys. So
it's tough making trades like that when.
And oh my God. Do you guys want to hear my wide receivers in this league?
I'm not gonna lie.
Crazy.
I would take that trade if I was you.
Puka, I don't have to Puka, AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle, Keenan Allen, Mike Thomas, and Deontay Johnson on IR. I don't.
Who are you running?
What me and Andy talked about earlier is his running back 2 right now is because he had James Conner, who will be back for the playoffs, obviously, but it's Kareem Hunt. So obviously the value from Joe Mixon to Kareem Hunt
3 weeks
offsets what you're losing from Puka to Garrett Wilson, which it might not even be a loss
It doesn't though, because Mixon's, like I said, he's underperformed his projection every week except for 1 week by half a point. He's not doing good.
He's on a bye this week too.
The point is, Mixon I get basically 2 weeks out of, and then I start all of those wide receivers and my 2 running backs over him.
No, it's not. So I get that. I get with how deep your receivers are. It's not. You
it's
need
a PPR.
Your running back has to be the better player that you're getting. You can't have the receiver be the better player.
It's hard when you really like your team like that. You're 4-2. You have the points. We had this issue, you and I making trades with each other. I wanted to make a trade in my league. You like your team a lot, so we just couldn't find something that worked. And then the same thing in another league.
Mike
league I'm second in points.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
I was just trying to
Jason
do
Sanders
something.
All right, let's
All right.
Well, Mike? Do you want to talk about some trades you've made recently? Is there a trade this
I'll
week?
talk trades, dude. We could do every episode of just trades. That
Yeah.
is, I love trades.
Well,
What do you
wait,
want
It
to
is
talk?
did we
trade
talk
season.
about did we talk about our trade, Doug? Let's hear what they both thought about our trade.
I don't think I
What
see
was
it.
your
So
trade?
this is real time reaction.
Okay, so this is a 16 team league that the four of us are all in. There's no defenses, no kickers. Full
PPR.
PPR. Yep. I was running back needy. I had a decent amount of wide receivers. Joe offered me a trade. Joe, what was the trade? It was
Tony Pollard
that he
for
has. Yep.
Chris Godwin and Deontay Johnson.
Yeah. And I pulled the trigger immediately. I needed that running back.
And remember, my number one wide receiver in that league is KJ Osborne.
Who are your running backs now, Joe?
I have Eckler, Gus Edwards, and hold on.
Yeah, I got to look at my
Hold
stuff
on.
too, because I have DJ Moore as one of my wide receivers, and I think Calvin.
Yeah,
Ridley.
you still do.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
Josh Allen, Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore, and then it'll be Madison. Oh no, it'll be Mixon and Pollard will be your running backs.
Right, and Madison
so-
probably be my flex. So I liked it. I had the depth to do it.
Yeah, so
I like
my
Doug's side.
my running backs are Austin Eckler, Gus Edwards, and then I have Jaleel McLaughlin. You got again my wide receivers that I was starting every week before this trade. I was starting KJ Osborne and Tutu Atwell.
Yeah, he needed a couple wide receivers for this full PPR league. It made sense for him as
Yeah.
well. He might have been able to get
Yeah.
better elsewhere. I don't know. Did you make any other trade offers with anyone else?
No, because I think I like Chris Godwin right now and Deontay Johnson. Now they both had their bye, so I don't have to worry about bye weeks for my wide receivers. So I'm starting both of those guys as my 1 and 2 wide receivers every week in the 16-team league.
Yeah,
I like it.
It might have worked out for both of us.
I think it was extremely balanced for both of us. I think it fit both our needs. Normally, I am not fair with trades, and I try to be a douchebag. But for some reason, I felt like I needed to make this move.
I was a little shocked when I got it from you, which is why I accepted pretty quick because I thought it was a super fair trade that helped us.
Yeah,
both
no,
out.
you accepted faster than any
Like
trade
10
I've
minutes.
ever had.
Yeah, 5
offered,
minutes.
and
Yeah.
I was like, I gave up too much, maybe, or didn't ask for enough. But
That's
I
when you
still,
start
That's always
panicking.
scary, right?
Yeah.
But I think it was fair for both our needs, and that's why I made the offer.
Yeah. Mike, you and I made a trade this past week as well, right? What was our
Yeah.
trade? It was a smaller trade.
The
but
situation in that was we're actually playing each
we
other,
were playing each other.
and I was 5-0, and you were 1-4.
1 and 4. Yeah.
So
I was
I
in a
could
must-win
afford
week.
to lose. You could not afford to lose.
Right.
So you gave me Christian Watson, who was on a bye.
Yep.
And I gave you Chuba Hubbard, who's obviously a rental. And who's
Rasheed
the other player?
Rice. Rasheed Rice.
And Rasheed Rice, who has upside. So
yeah,
it helped you this week. You beat me, and you wouldn't have if you didn't make that trade. So
right.
Well, maybe you would have. It would have been close, I think. But
I probably would have because I would have played Bourne. Bourne would have been in there, and he had a big
true.
week.
Yeah.
But
true.
either way, it helped me this week, hurt you this week, and that's all that mattered for me this week. But it could help you in the future now having Christian Watson.
Yeah, I have the upside of Christian Watson on my team, which a 5-0 team. I'm taking that risk.
Yeah. Yep. You took advantage of my 1 and 4 team.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
I think you got a starting running back because I think even when Sanders is healthy, Hubbard looks better and playing
It could
better.
be a flex worthy,
Mhm.
and Rasheed Rice might end up being flex worthy as well going forward.
Mhm.
We'll just see if that bum Mahomes can start getting the ball out there a little better. Yeah. So Andy, have you made any trades recently?
No,
No.
none. I
None.
can't get anybody to trade with. I've been
Dude, he's
trying.
been
to ship
trying.
Waddle
Is that
so
a you?
fucking hard.
So is it a you problem?
It's a him
Well,
problem. See,
It is and it isn't. Like I'm not being like douchey, but I'm also like I don't need to make a move. I just like the action. But like I have one league that I'm fucking kind of shoddy in, but I'm like top 2 or 3 in points in every league I'm in, and I'm doing pretty well. So like I don't need to
Oh,
make
look at you.
moves. I just like the action. And
Yeah.
so like I'm not just also gonna pull the trigger just to pull the trigger either. So
No, I get it. I get it. It's tough to make that call and be wrong about it. Mike has no problem doing it, and I love it.
No, I usually, and I will admit that I usually lose my trades off like when it's all said and done in the beginning. Like when you look at it,
yeah.
I lost that trade, but I play for potential, and I'm okay losing trades. And I think I'm the only person in the world that is okay
Dude.
losing trades.
You might be. And it's great to have you in leagues though, because I think I make a trade with you every year. There's certain guys
I
you make
multiple
trades with, you know.
Mhm.
Matt, who does the podcast with us sometimes, I make trades with him all the time. Certain guys that they're easier to make trades with. Like so Andy, in that 16 team league that Joe and I had that trade with the Pollard,
mhm.
you offered me, you're trying to get Josh Allen off me, and you offered me like a 5-for-3 deal. And it was, I don't even think I've rejected it yet. I should have, but it was just
Let's
like,
see, still be up there.
it might
No,
still
it's
be
gone.
up there. Is it gone?
It's
All
gone.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just too much, you know, because there's only 4 bench in that league too, right?
Yeah, it's not deep.
Yeah. So it was just, there was too many moving parts there. I like my team a lot in that league. I don't really want to mess with it too much, you know? So that's one reason why you didn't get a trade through, at least on all your trade offers. But
He doesn't look overly concerned.
no.
Well, I mean, he's got Brandon Cooks and Kendrick Miller on his bench. I thought maybe I could bolster his bench a little bit. I got fucking 2 Chargers wide receivers. I've been trying to ship Quentin Johnson because I just didn't think he was going to hit, and he had all that potential, and he just hasn't hit. And it's just sucks.
I'm gonna have to make a move in
him.
that league for sure this week.
Me too.
Tonight.
I think I have to trade Jamar Chase. Is my it's a 16 team league. I'm 2-4, and I'm Andy. No low ball offers. It's not like I'm out of the playoff hunt yet.
What would you say your panic meter is right now
on my team?
Yeah, on your team. Yeah, that's interesting.
6, a 6.
Okay.
I would say my panic meter is, but in a 16 team league, I think 2 great or 2 good players is better than a superstar like that, because the depth just doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I do not like your team.
Yeah, my team's not good.
I'm just looking at it.
So you would do a chase for 2 starters, basically. That's what you're looking for right now.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, I got a trade done with Mike in
terrible.
this league, actually.
Did you?
And I sent Mike, I sent Mike a trade straight up, and he just accepted. So I don't want to hear any of this. And he's sending low ball offer bullshit.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was
Mike texted me immediately. He's like, I hate how fair that deal is. And now you're over here fussing my
What was it?
balls.
What was it? Let's see what it was.
I got an offer and I was like, dude, why the fuck would you send me such a fair deal that I can't argue about? Why would you do that?
That's the way I felt
was,
about Joe's, but yeah, what was it?
It was, he gave me Trevor Lawrence and Mark Andrews, and I gave him
there was a third person.
And Jaylen Warren.
Jaylen Warren.
Yeah. So
Trevor Lawrence,
Trevor
Andrews,
Lawrence,
Jaylen Warren.
Yep. For Justin Herbert, TJ Hawkinson. That's it. Yeah. For Herbert and Hawkinson. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting. That's a good trade. Who is it? Who has it worked out for so far?
I think I'm 0-2
That's
since the trade, but
okay.
my team's. I'm struggling in this league a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good trade talk. I think we'll continue doing that week to week.
I like that.
We make a lot of trades. So, what are you guys doing for waivers tonight? We can say it because nobody's going to see it until tomorrow morning.
I got no money.
You don't have to say exact money or anything like that. But who you guys targeting tonight?
I mean, I believe in Dalton Schultz, man, now, and it's mainly because I believe in CJ Stroud. But Schultz had another touchdown this past week. I think
is he available in one of your leagues?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his own percentage was low when I looked at it. I was surprised how low it was.
All right. How about you, Mike? Who you there's a plethora of running backs this week, right?
Yeah.
But none of them are like league winners. They're all rentals.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few leagues I'm going after Evans and Mason or Elijah Mitchell if he's available. Yeah, exactly. They're all rentals or Craig Reynolds. Like there's a lot of
Another rental. Yep.
1 to 3 week rentals. But at this point, like I'm going all out. You have to. This is why the hell are you saving your waiver budget? Like you just spend it. Just get rid of it.
Well, I think it depends on where you're at record wise. Because if you don't have
Correct.
to get one of these rentals, why spend any money on them? You know?
Yeah.
Wait
I
for
actually just gave
something
that
else.
advice to somebody. So that's what I'm thinking in the league that I'm bad at. Just
Yeah.
don't save it. Spend it all. Take the chance.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one league I have $0, so I've been spending. Andy, you said you don't have money anywhere.
Yeah, I'm collecting scraps at 4:30 in the morning when I wake up to because I got fucking all my money's gone.
I mean,
Like Joe in a casino. I'm broke, son.
Oh, get the
Quote of the night.
one
I
of
think that's a
the.
good send off, Doug.
You think that's a good send off? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, if you want to keep going,
Well,
go ahead.
Well, we didn't even
I
get
mean,
to.
you ruined it right there.
I know we didn't get to Andy's stream of the week.
Oh,
Quarterback
I forgot
streams
about
of the
that.
week. I don't know. I was going to
Wants to
talk
cut
about.
segments on people.
Yeah, just completely blew it off. Kareem Hunt, though, actually, he's another guy. He was 31% owned. I was surprised it was that low. Like we talked about him before. Some people are starting him right now because they have to because of bye weeks and injuries. Wide receivers. I don't know. Is there any wide receivers you guys are going for this week?
There
Your boy-
wasn't much. When I was
No.
looking at it, I couldn't really find somebody that I was like
I
in
mean,
love with at the wide receiver position.
I would imagine. I didn't look it up, but I would imagine Josh Downs is probably
Yeah,
a
he's
free agent and a good
33%.
amount.
33%
Probably,
right now.
I'd
so-
probably go out, and try to get him.
Okay.
But something on the cheap. If I had any money,
Rasheed Rice is 38%. Surprised
Wandale
he's still that
Robinson?
low.
Curtis Samuel.
Wandale, yeah,
I
he's
feel
another
like
good
Curtis Samuel should be. Curtis Samuel should be.
Yeah.
He
He's
should have been
over
drafted
50.
and
He was-
rostered,
he
but
wasn't
He's
on
got to
the-
be.
Yeah, he's
He's
over
gotta
50
be.
right now. Yeah.
No, he's 35 at Yahoo.
Was he?
Is he really?
Oh, he didn't come
Yeah.
up. He didn't come up when I looked it up. Okay. He should be over that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He-
Yeah.
Dotson, I just dropped in my league. I mean, he didn't even get a catch. He got one target last week. So he was a
Yeah,
huge bust.
Mike's been trying to trade him to me.
I think is he possibly the biggest bust this year? Like how many busts have there been? I mean, he was
Oh wow, that's a good question.
You know
so
what? That
far.
is a great question.
Who's the bust of the year so far?
Bust of the year so far.
he's up there though. He's got to be, right? I mean, we didn't have huge expectations for him, but we thought this was going to be a breakout year, and he hasn't done shit. Like
No, he hasn't done anything.
no.
Is it T. Higgins?
T. Higgins got to
Higgins
be
is
up there.
bad.
Yeah.
Higgins is definitely up there.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, never had high expectations for him, but
We should come back to this on
Ramondre?
Thursday. Oh, Ramondre.
Ramondre is a big one. Kind of
That's a
all
big
all
one,
those
yeah.
number 2 receivers actually, like Waddle, Higgins,
Devonta, Waddle, yeah,
Devonta,
that whole,
yep.
that whole, yeah. Yup.
and they all went like back to back to back in the second, third round.
Mm.
Wow, T.
All right.
Higgins is the wide receiver 62 so far.
Yeah, wild.
That's bad.
All right, tight ends. Anybody going for tight ends? Michael Mayer, your boy Michael Mayer, Joe.
Yeah, he looked
He looked
good,
good.
man. He finally got the snaps.
Yeah, I think he's someone to go after if you're tight end needy this week. There's 6 teams on buys this week, right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Big
Michael
buy week.
Mayer.
This was a bad week for us to miss the waiver wire because this is like the first big week that people needed.
we really need it. Yeah. Taysom Hill's another interesting one because
Mm.
I think he is the tight end there right now, right? I think he was acting as the
Yeah,
tight end.
Johnson. Yeah, what's his face? Johnson hasn't been playing the last.
Yeah,
couple weeks.
Juwan hasn't been playing. Yep. So, all right, let's go to Andy's QB stream of the week. What are your streams of the week this week?
All right, kind of dry out there, so I got a little couple levels to
It's
this.
a brook.
Uh,
It's just a brook. up there.
So little double up here: Geno Smith or Jordan Love. Geno's at home versus Arizona. Jordan Love's at Denver. So you got pretty favorable matchups. Problem with them is they're both around 2/3 owned in every league. So hoping one of them's available. If not, we're going back to the well here. Sam Howell playing the Giants, owned in 39% of leagues.
Boy,
You know, we've talked about him multiple times. He seems to be the most consistent stream pickup at quarterback. And if you are very desperate, because I looked this up, not owned in a single league, and his parents play fantasy football, Tyler Badgett is playing the Raiders. He's literally owned in 0 fucking leagues. If you need a flyer,
Go get that
It's
man.
not Tyler.
I don't know what his name is. I have no idea. But I
What-
like it.
It's Tyson or Tyson. It's not Tyler.
I don't even know what his first name is.
No. Let's go find him.
Tyler.
You sure?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not
fuck,
Tyler.
dude,
I like it. Super flex league.
It's
Go get him.
Tyson. It's Tyson Badgett.
Tyson.
Go get him.
Imagine.
Like it.
Yeah, boy.
All right.
Oh, man,
Go get those guys because you know some of them like him, they're still going to be there after the waivers. So go get.
He's got to be there.
Oh.
$0. You can spend $0.
Jordan, I'll tell you what, Jordan Love after that bad game and then them being on the bye last week could be out there. Teams could have dropped him last week. So a matchup against Denver, it could be a good one.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like it. All right, boys, let's end it. For Mike and Joey G and Andy, I'm Doug. We'll see you guys next time.
my beard.
Later.
He's ugly.